Velkommen til Mosjøen, or welcome to Mosjøen and our event, One Step Closer to an E-Fuel Factory. It is great to see that so many of you have taken the time to meet us here today, both from our partners, from our company, but also people from the local community. My name is Ida Marie Larsen. I am the manager for funding and policy in Norsk e-Fuel, and I will be your host today. And with me on stage, I have Chief Commercial Officer in Norsk e-Fuel, Lars Bjørn Larsen.
Dear partners, stakeholders and interested parties, I would also like to extend a very warm welcome to this event that we've been looking forward to for quite a while. Ever since the first outreach to Vefsn municipality, to Mosjøen, to Rune on a bad phone connection in Arendalsuka, to the continued and ongoing collaboration we have with, among other things, the project teams in Vefsn municipality, in Linnea, at Helgeland Kraft, at Helgeland Havn, and lots of other people here locally. We and the extended NEF team, the shareholders and our partners, have been looking forward to an event like this where we can announce new and firm developments, which brings us one step closer to realization of the world's first large-scale e-fuel plant. We are very glad to see so many people here and online. We have 100 plus people also looking at the event online, maybe even more. Both known partners but also new faces here in the crowd, so which we're very happy to see. And we hope that you will learn more about the ongoing work and the projects that we are going to develop here in Mosjøen. This is an open event and a time to learn more, and we really want you to create this dialogue with you here in the audience and also online. If you have questions, you can post them also. So ask questions. There will be a round table and an opportunity to ask questions both during the event but also after when we mingle around afterwards. Norsk e-Fuel was founded as a partnership. We develop and we grow through partnerships, and we will only succeed as an effect of the collaborative efforts by and between the partners in and around the project. So today we mark several important milestones in this regard, and we are very happy to do this here at Bakgården and in Mosjøen. To us, Bakgården and being here and the initiative from Tove and Stein is a very good example of the positive and entrepreneurial spirit that we see and experience here in Mosjøen. So again, welcome to the event and enjoy the presentations, and please ask questions.
Great. Okay. Then I think it's time to get the show running and set the scene for what's to come. So as mentioned, today marks a very special day for us in Norsk e-Fuel, and we are very excited to share this with you here today. So without much further ado, I think it's time to buckle up and prepare for takeoff, because we have a very exciting program here for you today. We start today with an introduction from the mayor of Vefsn municipality, where Mosjøen is located. He will share some of his thoughts on what new sustainable industry means for a local community. So please, welcome to the stage, Rune.
Partners welcome for this event, and also a milestone for Norsk e-Fuel. And we, as Lars Bjørn said, we have been working together for the last 2.5 years. From the first contact was made, and I was in Arendal having him on the phone. He introducing their concept, and we made starting the contact between Norsk e-Fuel and our municipality. And as a municipality, we have different roles. We have this regulation role, making demands and being a partner that is making sure everything is all right in that process. And on the other hand, we have MON, that is our development organization, working together as a partner, helping them succeed with meetings, connecting local companies, working together and helping them in their steps forward. And I'm very happy also to could say that we will be there in the future. We will be hand in hand working towards the goal that seeing this factory being built in Mosjøen and taking our next step in an industrial event adventure, and having new jobs, new companies, and a very important part of the sustainable future. So with that, I wish you all partners here today welcome, and I'm very happy to see that you're finding each other, making agreements, and making next steps, and I will be joining, following. So thank you.
And I think I speak for all of us that we're very happy for the collaboration that we've had with Vefsn Municipality so far, and we look forward to the future as well. We will now move on to the next slot in our program. Carl Hauptmeier, CEO of Norsk eFuel, has been working on this project even before Norsk eFuel was founded. He will now give us an introduction to the Norsk eFuel project, share the current status, and who knows, maybe we get a couple of news or two.
Great. Welcome, everyone. It's an absolute pleasure being here, and it is really a pleasure for me to say a few words about this project, which is so very close to my heart, and I believe our heart and our team, that we've been diligently working on for the past couple of years to bring to the step where we currently are. And I'm also very excited to share some exciting news with you today. So we've deliberately chosen this event to make some of the milestone announcement which we've been able to achieve over the past few years. So with this being said, maybe just as a very short introduction, who are we? What is it we actually do? So in essence, in short, we in Norsk eFuel, we're a project developer with the aim and the goal to develop sustainable aviation fuel for the future. How do we do this? Well, what we like to talk about is closing the carbon cycle. So the process, in short, we use CO2, which is being captured from biogenic sources, the air or other point sources. We convert the CO2 with the help of hydrogen and synthesis processes into what is a synthetic fuel sort of alternative. And then this fuel can be used in today's aviation. And I think this is really the important thing. What we do is we mimic nature, we close the carbon cycle, we use what is existing, we use the CO2, we convert it, and the product is a kerosene, a jet fuel, which you cannot distinguish from another fuel which can be used as a drop-in as of today. So I think the message here is renewable aviation is possible. It's at the horizon. What we need is projects like these which are able to produce the fuel of the future. So maybe a few words. Why are we here in Mosjøen? What makes this location so special? Why are we so strongly believing into this community? I think Mosjøen is a very unique spot, in a very unique spot in the world even. And I would like everyone to understand this, because not only do we find here the great collaboration and also the positive spirit of industry, we find with Gen2 Energy, which we'll be talking later on today, also industrial synergies which we can use in order to maximize the efficiency of our project. More than that, Mosjøen is in a unique position by having access to renewable power, which is under specific conditions within the EU policy framework incredibly important that this is really according to EU regulations. But I think all of this being said, that's what makes this an interesting spot. What makes it a unique spot is really the decades of industrial experience that come along with this. So not only have you the great starting point and the starting position, you have all the experience, all the infrastructure, all the support and the welcoming community that is needed to bring a project from a sort of a concept phase to realization. So we're very happy to be here, and that is why we have very deliberately chosen to make this our absolute flagship project, where we invest into the project, where we spend the money on, where we do all the work on the engineering, bringing this project to fruition. So what is it this project will realize once we're done? Once this plant is constructed, this facility will produce around 50 million liters of fuel, so roughly 40,000 tons a year, which is equivalent to approximately 120,000 tons of CO2 mitigated each and every year by utilizing this fuel in aviation today. And just to give you a bit of an idea of what is the impact would be that with this facility, 1.7 million people could travel without additional emissions, fossil-free, from Bodø to Oslo. And I think that is a number which showcases, yes, we need much more than this just one project, but if one project like this can have a huge impact that people can feel and that people can be proud of. Now, all of this would of course not have been possible without our shareholders behind us. And I think in this case, I just wanted to mention this here, to be very clear that you understand who we are. We are a company of partnerships. And I think Lars Bjørn mentioned this quite well. And the shareholders behind us, we're not venture funded. We are supported by strategic investors who are in this for the long run. All of our investors believe into the story. They want to see this happen. And I'm very happy that also Paul Wood has decided to re-endorse this commitment into our mission, our vision, and our team by reinvesting and increasing their capital share. So I believe this is important to understand. You need to have a solid foundation, and with a solid foundation you can build a great team around you, and with this great team you can realize a lot of things. But it's my absolute pleasure to announce now the newest member to our family, and this is Norwegian Airlines. So I believe this has been teased in the last year already, but this is officially now the case. So Norwegian, welcome. We're very glad to have you on board, and we're excited that you decided to embark on this adventure together with us. But of course, it's not only about the shareholders. It's even not only about the team. That is the foundation. But in order to bring a project to reality, to really bring it to the end, what you also need is to secure the offtake. Someone needs to want your product. Someone needs to buy it. That's where this project really starts to create magic. And therefore, I believe probably not a surprise if I announce that Norwegian has joined us as a shareholder. Norwegian has also signed an offtake contract with us, but not only Norwegian has signed an offtake contract with us. It's my absolute pleasure to now introduce to you a little bit the surprise guest, which we have been keeping quiet up until now, which is Cargolux. For those of you who may not know Cargolux is one of the world leading cargo airlines with a very far outreach all into the world, located in Luxembourg. We'll hear more about this later on from Damien. But I think what is really important to see here, together with Norwegian and Cargolux, we in Norsk eFuel have now signed offtake agreements for more than 140,000 tons of sustainable aviation fuel for the future. And this is absolutely unique in the industry. You'll find a lot of projects being announced, but this is a statement of really bringing this from a conceptual phase into reality. We have the trust of our partners, we have the commitment from the airlines, and I have to say I'm absolutely thrilled that both Cargolux and Norwegian have put the trust into us as a company and into this project here in Mosjøen to be the front runner in providing sustainable aviation fuel for the future. So with this being said, I believe I would just wrap up and use more of the time of your time this afternoon for the people to speak for themselves and explain about their role, their commitments, why they are part of it. But I think just to really bring this forward, why do we believe now that we will make this happen? Why will we get it done? And I think we covered this basically. We have access to an ideal site here in Mosjøen with a welcoming community that enables us to bring this forward. We do have a growing team of experts that we're very proud about, and that is increasing continuously over the time. We have the access to the core technology with very strong technology partners also in our shareholder group. We got strong shareholders behind us. We have the commitment from off-takers, and all of this together really brings us to a position where we can say we have the full value chain of partners now gathered together to make this a reality and bring this into fruition. So with this, I'm not going to spend more words. Thank you very much. Thank you again for being here. Absolute pleasure. And we within Norsk eFuel and we as a team are very proud of what we've been able to achieve over the past few years. So very happy to share this with you. Thank you very much.
Wow, that's quite some news for us. And it's also news that actually brings us one step closer to the world's first full-scale e-fuel factory. And the actors that Carl just presented represent the force behind our project. And it's now time for us to get to know them a little bit more. And after the news that we just heard, we also, of course, have our surprise speaker with us here today. Cargolux is a global cargo carrier established in 1970 in Luxembourg and is an undisputed leader in air cargo. To learn more about their story, it is an honor for me to welcome Damien Crochu to the stage, the Director of Corporate Finance for Cargolux. So please, welcome to the stage.
Thank you, Ida. And thank you, everyone, for being present today. So let me first state that at Cargolux, we are very excited and proud to be part of this project. Some of you may not be familiar with the name of Cargolux, so I have put together a little presentation for you. So you probably guessed when you heard the name, Cargolux is not a passenger airline, it's a cargo airline. We transport freight. Cargolux has a long history. It was founded more than 50 years ago, and it was back then almost a family business. Today, the shareholding of Cargolux is very strong. It's mainly owned by the Luxembourg state and at 35% by the Chinese region of Hainan. The shareholding has proved to be stable and has backed up the company several times in the past. Cargolux has a fleet strong of 30 747, which is one of the biggest commercial aircraft flying in the world today. And this fleet is one of the largest operated by an airline for its own account. We offer many destinations in the world thanks to a rich portfolio of traffic rights. So as you can see in the global chain supply, the cargo airline is in the middle. Our mission is to transport cargo from one airport to another. And our major clients are the forwarders such as Kuehne+Nagel, Panalpina. I often get the question, what do you transport in your planes? We transport goods with high value. For example, we transport tech items, so your iPhones, perishable, flowers from Kenya, a very popular product in February, pharmaceuticals, off-size cargo such as oil drilling equipment, live animals like racehorses. So about other business of Cargolux, we have our own maintenance center in Luxembourg for light maintenance. Also, since last Friday, we have officially launched an aerial firefighting unit with the purchase of 12 air tractor fireboss. This is another way for the company to fight global warming. Finally, Cargolux is in the process of taking over the cargo operation, handling operation of Luxor Cargo in Luxembourg, which will increase the workforce by almost 50%. Cargolux has truly a unique business model with little comparable airlines. It is a large-scale all-cargo airline, whereas our main competitors are the combination carriers, such as Qatar Airways, Emirates, who all have a cargo unit. Other competitors include FedEx and UPS. The air cargo market is often regarded as a cyclical market where demand and supply dictate the price. Well, as you can see, the past couple of years have been very good to Cargolux. This was due to the COVID pandemic, which has sadly caused 50% of the competition to disappear from the market from one day to another. I'm talking about the passenger airline and their belly capacity here. So in these 3 years, Cargolux had one of the best, if not the best, performance in the industry. So to summarize, Cargolux has a strong shareholding, a unique business model, and a leading position in the air cargo market, a flexible network, and a recognized expertise in handling complex cargo. So now, Cargolux and SAF. Cargolux is familiar with SAF. We launched our program back in 2021 with the aim to provide our customers access to SAF. We also have the possibility to invest directly into projects such as the Norsk project. A nice achievement was when Cargolux became first foreign airline to uplift SAF in China. So clearly Cargolux is committed to SAF. So now I would like to briefly talk about why e-fuels are important to Cargolux. The EU came up with the Refuel EU Aviation Regulation, which will impose to fuel suppliers to provide SAF to airlines and airlines to uplift this SAF. This mandate will start in 2025 and the percentage of SAF uplift will increase over the years and e-fuel will be included in the mandate. Another argument in favor of e-fuel is aircraft technology. So we talk a lot about electric aircraft or hydrogen-powered aircraft, but in reality, for Cargolux, this will not be possible in the near future. At this stage, electricity is only possible for small aircraft with low range, and hydrogen would require a complete redesign of the aircraft. Then for us, there is no alternative to SAF. Finally, we believe that e-fuels have a great potential in the reduction of CO2 emissions, close to 100%. There is plenty of feedstock, and studies show it will be very competitive in the long run. So, in summary, airlines like Cargolux are embarked on a long journey to decarbonize their business, and SAF will be the main lever for that. And in addition, e-fuels, they have a great potential. And finally, I would like to say that Cargolux truly believes that Norsk e-fuel will be able to deliver this best-in-class e-fuel. Thank you.
Thank you. Quite an impressive company, Cargolux. So we'll move on in the program. We'll continue within the airlines industry. And in 2022, they celebrated 20 years in the air and have, since they began service, transported more than 300 million people to their respective destinations. In 2023, Norsk e-Fuel announced our strategic partnership together with Norwegian. And today we welcome, as a member of our board, Norwegian, yeah. It is an absolute honor to welcome to the stage Geir Karlsen, CEO of Norwegian.
God morgen alle sammen. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I think I'm a little bit embarrassed. I think this is actually my first time in Mosjøen. So just so to get it out there. But I have to say that, you know, we have, throughout Norway, we have so many towns, communities that has the industry knowledge that you have here in Mosjøen. Myself, I'm coming from a small little town. I don't think it's actually a town, it's a place, because it's small, where we also have some experience in being innovative. So in Sykkylven, where I'm from, on the west coast, we are a heavy producer of furniture, for example. So, and I have to say that it is impressive what you have been doing here in Mosjøen over a very long time. I guess today, first of all, it's producing aluminium for the global market, and that's why we think from the Norwegian's point of view, it is very exciting to be a part of a project, a company that is actually going to start producing this type of fuel here in Norway. So for Norwegian, why are we doing this? Norwegian, we have set the target to reduce the emissions by 45%, before 2030. We are doing a lot of stuff in order to reach that goal. One is to actually be able to fly the newest technology on the aircraft side. That's why we have invested into 50 to 80 new aircraft that will start to deliver from 2025. These aircraft are burning 16-17% less than the aircraft we are flying today. That's one measure we are doing. But in order to meet the target, we have absolutely no chance of meeting it unless we can start to burn this type of fuel. we have been evaluating many projects before we took the decision to invest into Norsk aviation, but we found that project to be the best one, and we trust the people behind the technology, and we trust that it is not enough capital, that there is enough capital in order to make this happen. And that's why we decided to not only do an offtake agreement, meaning buying this type of fuel, but we have also invested capital, our own capital, into this company, because we really believe it. Norwegian is putting a lot of resources and capital into sustainability. We are working towards the regulatories, we are working towards the Norwegian government, because we think it is very important to canalize all the taxes we are paying back into the industry to incentivize the production of this type of fuel. We have already, regulations today saying that we have to blend in a certain percentage of this type of fuel into the wing of the aircraft. Unfortunately, there is not many projects like this that is on this stage as per today, and we are unfortunately very much behind on time in order to meet the requirements that will be put upon us seen from the airline industry. In Norway, the airlines and the infrastructure that we have, so it's very important that we have airlines flying, to bring people, across, the very long country that we have, and we have people living all through the country here in Norway. So that is a factor why it's very important that we can also have a relationship to the Norwegian government where they can incentivize projects like this. And I think it's just fantastic to see that we can do it here in Mosjøen. Just to give you some numbers of what we are talking about. In Norwegian today, in 2024, we are burning 755,000 tons of fuel in order to bring you, where you want to go. In order to meet the requirements that we have in Norwegian, reducing the emissions by 45%, we as Norwegian, we as one company, we need 130,000 tons of this type of fuel in order to reduce the emissions by 45%. In Europe today, the production of either this type of fuel or biofuel, which is another version of it, they are only producing 100,000 tons. And we as one company need 130,000 tons by 2030. So we are way behind, and that's why we as an airline is pushing the regulatories in order to speed up. So that's why we have invested into this. We really believe it. We are very impatient, and what we don't like is that this is advanced technology. It takes time to get the first liter out of a facility like this. So this is just one out of many things that we are doing. And from a Norwegian's point of view, we will probably invest in other projects as well in order to give our support into the production of this type of fuel. So I think that looking at Mosjøen, we had the pleasure of having a dinner last night with the mayor. You have a very forward-looking community here. You have a deep industrial knowledge. You have renewable energy, and you have investors from leading technology companies coming into this project. And we will have a very steep increase in the demand of this type of fuel. So, seen from my point of view, this is a great product, so let's get going and let's get the first liter out in 2026, not 2027, because we need it, and we really believe in this project. Thank you.
Very much, Geir, and a formal welcome aboard as shareholder of Norsk e-Fuel. So, up next, we have a company that for the last 150 years have put their mark on the steel industry across Europe and is a leading EPC service provider. Moving forward, they are also putting their mark on the development of sustainable and renewable industries such as e-fuels. It is an honor to welcome George Rassels to the stage, member of the board of directors at Paul Wurt and chairman of the board of Norsk e-fuel. Welcome to the stage.
Thank you, Ida. And yes, I'm very happy to be with you here today in this fantastic brand new location you have managed to build here in Mosjøen. So, and it's a pleasure to explain a little bit why we are doing what we are just doing. So, as mentioned by Ida, we are a company which has more than 150 years of history. Our core activity over the last century was mainly in the iron and steel industry. But I think there was one very important moment, decisive moment, which happened in 2015 when there was the COP21 in Paris, and where the world community agreed that something has to be done against the climate change. And this really led us to think ahead and to see what does the industry need in order to reduce their carbon footprint. And the iron and steel industry is obviously one of the, let's say, main contributor to CO2 emissions, about 8%. But it's not the only one. And we also have heard now about the aviation and the millions of tons of CO2 which are produced by flying you or goods around. And that's why we definitely came to our minds that we have to do other things, and there are big opportunities to use what we have been doing in the past 150 years to apply this also to a different field. And our company, being part of the SMS Group, which is a German-based with Luxembourg Competence Center, a company of 14,000 people plus active worldwide, has decided that we will take a proactive role in this decarbonization of other industries. And we here see on these slides that it goes also into circular economy when it comes to battery recycling, where we are developing technologies and having partnerships. When it comes to urban mining, recycling all the valuable products which we produce with our computers, with our mobile phones and so on. Obviously, an important factor is also digitalization of all these processes, where there is a lot of, let's say, possibilities, opportunities to improve operation, maintenance, and realizing a more cost-efficient production. So that's why we decided as a group, and as Paul Wurt, who is member of this big SMS group, to invest ourselves more beside what you see here, our core business, the iron industry, to invest ourselves into the fuel or hydrogen-based, let's say, industries. And we became the decarbonization competence center of the SMS group for the entire world in Paul Wurt in Luxembourg. Just to mention what are we able to do, we have currently orders on hand in the iron and steel industry for completely new plant, for example in Sweden, close to here in Boden in northern Sweden, where the first greenfield completely green steel factory will be built using no fossil fuels, no fossil at all. Everything will be based on electricity, on green electricity. Similarly, in Germany, we have the honor to build the first, also here, hydrogen-ready, let's call it alternative reduction plant, where 2.5 million tons of steel are produced, and we have an order of more than 1.8 billion euros to execute this project. So just showing that we are able to handle large projects, which are even by far larger than the project we are discussing here in Mosjøen for Norsk e-fuel. So in our activities related to hydrogen, as said, hydrogen is important for the steel industry to decarbonize the steel industry, but hydrogen will also be important to decarbonize other industries, and we see it in the power to liquid, where e-fuel is one of these forms of, let's say, power to liquid. We have big opportunities, and there are even big needs to develop these projects. And as I said, proactively, we decided to participate, and we took a share, and I would say even we took now the lead in bringing Norsk e-fuel to the next step. Just a little bit technology, because we are basically a technology company. We have the chance to bring now all the technological requirements together. And speaking about, let's say, bringing together, I really mean we bring it together. We integrate existing technologies for most of the parts. These are not new things. We are not developing new things and having the risk to have, let's say, negative surprises. No, we have existing technologies, and majorly we bring them together in order to transform the hydrogen, which we will get from our colleagues from Gen 2, the CO2, which we'll also capture here in Norway, and in a chemical process, we will transform this to what you learned to be the e-fuel and the e-kerosene above all. This is done by partnering up with Axence, which is a French, let's say, chemical process company, which has a deep experience in all these chemical processes. We bring some innovative solutions to it. For example, that we are, for heating up, we are also developing an electrical heater and not using, like today, fuel to bring up the temperature which we need in order to realize reactivity or the reaction. So this is done based on green electricity here in Mosjøen, and this is one of the main reasons why Mosjøen, because we have the availability of green electricity. And we bring this together and we produce finally this e-kerosene. I'm happy to give more explanations later if needed, but I think we should not go too deep now in these technical discussions. So, and this is basically all. We are happy to be part now of this. We are convinced that we have, like Carl also mentioned it, all the ingredients we need together, and that we are realizing now what is called the FEED study, the front-end engineering design, let's say, in order to really, let's say, confirm all the assumptions we have, and in order to realize also everything which is needed for receiving the permits to build and to operate such a plant. So this is done over the next year, and I'm looking forward to be here with you for the groundbreaking of this plant. Tusen takk.
Thank you very much, George, and welcome aboard as chairman of the board of Norsk e-fuel. I think I speak for all of us when I say that we look very much forward to working closely with you moving forward. Okay, so our final speaker today is our closest industrial neighbor, and last week we announced that we will deepen our collaboration further. Norsk e-fuel will offtake green hydrogen from Gen 2 Energy for our e-fuel production, and now we will hear more about their plans. Welcome to the stage, Andreas Ecker, Senior Vice President of Global Sales, Gen 2 Energy.
Hello. All right. Thank you very much for inviting us as your neighbor here in Mosjøen. I'm very glad to be in Mosjøen. I came here the first time some 2.5 years ago when we started discovering the opportunities that are represented here in Mosjøen at Nesbruket and in Holandsvika. Since then, Gen 2 Energy have been working hard on developing our projects here. And let me give you some introduction on how we view this project in connection with the other activities that we have. Gen 2 Energy, we are a pure play green hydrogen company. As you see here, we were established in 2019. It took a few years. Our founding fathers, they developed the opportunity. They looked at what can we do as Norwegians looking at producing hydrogen. There is some 5 to 10 years ago, the market started talking about hydrogen. What role will it play in the future? And our founders, they said that access to cheap green hydrogen at 24/7 basis, around the clock production, is a strong competitive advantage. That is what we want to utilize. We were able to raise capital in 2021. Then at the same time, we came into Mosjøen. We secured sites at Nesbruket. And since then, we've been working on developing the project. We finished the FEED study for our first site last year, and we are now in the final approval stage for the project, so we can start building as soon as possible. We are 23 employees, split over 3 offices in Oslo, Horten, and here in Mosjøen. We have announced some 3 to 5 projects over different locations in Norway, a total capacity of 1 gigawatt installed electrolyzer capacity. That's how we as a hydrogen company want to present ourselves. The backing that we have, we are owned by some Norwegian shipping companies, Höegh LNG and the Knutsen Group. We are also owned by Vitol, a very large energy trader based out of Switzerland/UK. Then we have HyCamp and Hydrogen One, pure hydrogen knowledge companies that come in and try to develop our project together with us. Nesbruket 1, this is the site that we have been talking about in Mosjøen for quite some time. What you see here is what the site looks like when we have finished now the FEED study. We will produce hydrogen in the big site at the middle there. And as you see in the background, there are containers. So what we are planning to do, we are planning to fill the containers with hydrogen and export the hydrogen to Europe and partly also to this region. So there will be hydrogen on containers that will be available from this site in this region, and also in, we are looking at exporting these containers to Germany. We finished the FEED study, as I said, last year, and we are looking at making the investment decision this year, soon as possible. We have secured the site. All the approvals that you need in order to start building are more or less in place, and including then the general building permit. We are in final negotiations on the offtake agreement. Means that the lawyers are supporting us on making sure that we have all the nitty-gritty or pieces that needs to go into. It's a big agreement. It's that will take us through this. Power purchase agreement is pending, and the final concept from DSB is also pending. Those are things that would only come later. So what is this compared to what we're talking about here today? It's the neighboring site. It's this site here that is number 1. That is the production site that we will use to feed the e-fuel production site that we are here to talk about today. So it's the second phase of our initiatives, but it's fully integrated. So you can see there, 2, it's the share administration building. We are already now planning to build this site based on the development of 3 factories side by side. So we will have the Nesbruket 1 site, which is excluding, it's not what we're here to talk about today. It's the Nesbruket 2 plant. It's a roughly installed 135 megawatt of electrolyzer capacity, made to only, all the production from that site will go straight into Norsk aviation. And there are synergies between these projects on top of the hydrogen production. We will producing excess energy. There will be heat, there will be water. All of these utilities we will cooperate on. So there are many synergies that you will see that we can develop together as this project is now kicking off. 3 projects side by side. And that's it from me. Very excited to be here. Very happy to be here. Looking forward to develop this together with us. I know our engineers are already now working on this. It's exciting days. Thank you very much.
Please stay on stage. Yeah, thank you. So thank you for your presentation. We will now continue with a small roundtable discussion, and after this it will be possible for you guys in the audience to ask some questions directly to the people we have here today. So Andreas, I would like to also welcome back on stage all our speakers today. So Carl, Damien, Geir and George, please welcome back to the stage. So I think it's okay to just stand around over there. Okay, we'll just, perfect. Cool, then I actually think that we'll just jump straight into it. And the first question goes to Carl and Andreas. So what role will this collaboration on the project play in maturing the hydrogen market?
Well, okay. Leaving it where I was talking, developing these projects side by side. We will use common engineers. We will use the opportunity to work together, talking to the municipality. All the different stages of developing this project, there are synergies because we're starting together. We bring different experiences into this project together, and I do see that the synergies are lifting us it's a pretty unique development. So it takes more than one to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe just hang on, I'd probably need this. Maybe just adding to this, I think it's really about joining forces, and I think the question is really we have an exciting project which we're working on. We have a great shareholder base. We have a great team, and now you combine this with Gen 2 Energy, so 23 more people. More heads to think about bringing this to realization. So I think this is really number one, joining forces. And I think number two, and that's just sort of a general statement. I think, Geir, you mentioned the good example of being innovative, producing furniture. So what probably happened? You had wood, and you increased the value by creating furniture in that region. And I think you can think about this as well. We are producing hydrogen here. And now we're using the hydrogen and converting it to fuels. We're going one step further, and we're doing this together. And we are really increasing the value chain and value creation here in the local community. So I think this is a great example of how synergies can create additional value.
Yeah, thank you. Now, moving on to the airlines. Damien and Geir, why is it so important for you to secure access to e-fuels?
Well, from my perspective, the answer is straightforward. So in my presentation, I talked about the EU blending mandate, so that's what we call mandatory SAF. Here, with direct access, we talk about voluntary SAF. So basically, we have a variety of clients who have different targets when it comes to their strategy. And for those who would like to have a higher share of SAF, so going beyond the mandate, we need to be able to provide them with this SAF. So that's why we go for direct procurement of SAF.
Yeah, just to follow on, I think today Norwegian is blending in less than 0.5% of this type of fuel or similar fuel into the wings. We know that EU from 2025 will require us to blend in 2%. It doesn't sound that much, but it is actually quite a lot. And to buy this fuel today, you pay 3 to 4 times the price compared to fossil fuel. So we know it's not like we can sit and wait and hope that this will go over, because it won't. and that's why we are taking the steps. The requirements are there, so it's not like this is now. It's not 2030. So we need to act.
Yeah. But just as a follow-up question then, what actually made you choose Norsk e-fuel?
I think we evaluated between 10 and 15, not similar project, but kind of similar projects, and we just found that that these are great guys, and we believe in them. We believe in the technology that is already there. It has not been tested out in the scale that we are talking about here, but we just thought that it was the best alternative. And as a bonus, it's actually happening here in Norway, which is also great.
Yeah. Okay, so moving to George. As an experienced partner for engineering and construction, you are also an early mover in the new e-fuels market. What does this mean for you and your company?
Yeah, as I mentioned, let's say our history is mainly relying on metals industry. So, but as I said, let's say early starting after 2015, we recognized that we have to do, and we have the opportunity to do something else in order to decarbonize the whole industry. So we set up a special team which is focusing now really on this type of technologies. We are not afraid of technologies because over the 150 years, we have been developing technologies when it comes to patents and licenses, license taker, license giver. We have 100 years of experience in this, so this is nothing new. What is maybe helping us now really a lot is that we have, in the back, we have the strong organization of the SMS group with 14,000 people when it comes to realizing large-scale, even turnkey projects. We have the workforce which is experienced in setting up in difficult conditions, in remote conditions, large plants, and this is what we definitely are also going to use. Besides the specific technology team, we have the backup of a strong engineering and implementation team.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. And Carl, final question. What makes you so confident that this project will be realized in Mosjøen?
Well, I think the short answer is the people here on stage. I'm not gonna sort of downplay this. This is a complex project. There are many moving parts. There are many things that need to work together. But I think this is exactly the strength of this partnership and this group of people that we have gathered together, and that are all committed to making this happen, are all jointly working towards the final goal, which is the production of e-fuels in order to make aviation a bit more sustainable into the future. And I think to break it down a little bit, why can projects fail? There are many reasons for this, right? It can be that you are not able to secure the supply. I think we can tick that. We will be able to secure the supply of hydrogen, of power, of the resources, the technology we need. There's a technology risk, right? That you're not able to deliver what you're promising. I think as George mentioned, we're not really worried about this as well. We're using technologies, experienced partners, licensors, and we have a party on board with the competence to realize these sort of big projects without breaking a sweat. And it could fail because the market is simply not there, right? You have a great idea, but no one is interested in your product. And I think we heard today that that's also not going to be the case. This product is thought after. We will need it in order to decarbonize aviation. So without downplaying all the work that we still have to do, I think all the ingredients are there. So in essence, we can tick all the boxes of why projects would usually fail, and we can say, well, that is not going to happen to us. So with this being said, I'm just repeating myself. I think it's this group of people standing here right now. That's why we're not going to fail.
Yeah, I completely agree. So for the next part now, we would like to welcome questions from the audience. If you're curious about anything regarding the project, regarding the technology, or regarding the companies, now is your chance to ask these amazing experts that we have with us here on stage today. So please raise your hand if you're curious about anything. Yeah.
My name is Sverre Magnus, and I'm curious knowing how many new working places will this generate coming to Gen 2 and e-fuel?
Maybe I'm just going to start and then you add on your workforce. I think for Norsk e-fuel, you can say we'll have 60 to 70 people directly employed within the facility. But in addition to this, you always have to think about indirect additional workforce, which will be added to this. What I mean by this is supporting workforce for security, for cleaning, drivers for the logistics, and so on. But 60 to 70 people directly employed for the operation of the plant.
So for Gen 2, what we have said is that for our phase 1, we're talking about 40 to 50 people running and operating the plant when it's in operation. It's a huge building project coming up front, so then there will be lots of people coming in. For our phase 2, I wouldn't be guessing it's in that area, but probably slightly lower than what we need for the first phase.
My name is Rune Jacobsen, and we all know that the prices for the green energy is a key for this project. So I hope you get a nice price for your industry. So I'd like to know.
Well, I think absolutely correct. The price of the electricity is key. That is a cost driver, and I can tell you we have very diligently been looking at a lot of locations around Europe before making a decision to move here, and not only looking at sort of power prices today, but also at forecasts into the future. What is the potential? How will grid extension affect power prices, grid fees, and so on in a region? And I think it's fair to say you are in a unique spot here within Europe, and this is a competitive advantage which will not go away in the near future. And that is why we also believe that whatever happens when this project is up and running, one of our key competitive factors is a given, and that's why we'll be able to produce competitively not only in the first few years being the first, but producing competitively in the next 20 years to come for this plant.
Any other questions from the audience? Yeah.
Hi, I'm Louisa. I'm working for Norsk Fuel. I'm just taking a question from the online audience. So we are being asked about the announcement of Infinium, who just announced their project in Mo i Rana, which sounds very familiar and very close to what Norsk Fuel is planning to do. What are your thoughts around this?
I think I'm just going to take this as well. I think a simple answer right now, the more the merrier. I mean, we've heard from Damien, we've heard from Geir. The demand is there. Our project will not fill the market, not even on a long shot. We'll need multiple projects to realize sort of the decarbonation scenarios to make aviation more renewable. This being said, so I think look, we've made a very deliberate decision more than 2 years ago to come here to Mosjøen, and I think sort of that now other parties are also starting to investigate the opportunities in the region is to some extent just a proof that we have made the correct choice of being here where we're today. So in that sense, I think we welcome them. We know them. They're one of the technology providers and other projecteers. It's a small area. We talk, right? So I think in that sense, let's see what will happen. But up to a good neighborhood, I think.
Okay, and with this, I think I would like to thank everyone that's been with us here on stage today, and also all of you participating with us here, both here in Mosjøen at Bakgården Kulturhus, but also online. I would also like to say thank you, so you can now go off the stage. Thank you. And then I would like to welcome back Lars Bjørn Larsen for some closing remarks.
Thank you, Ida. And thank you all for joining us for this event. It was a great pleasure to see so many people here, and I also learned from Louisa there's a lot of people following this online. So we are very happy with the turnout of the event, but even more so with the collaborative effort and spirit that we experienced both here in Mosjøen and among the partners. We often get the question, so also, are you now taking the investment decision to move forward? And as Carl mentioned, we are doing these things very specifically for Mosjøen. So we are not breaking ground yet, but we are doing groundbreaking agreements. So we are now signing all these agreements with the offtake. We are signing also a feed contract that did that with Paul Wood, meaning that we are now engaging in a project that has a cost of us for the next 12-18 months for more than 150 million Norwegian kroners. So we are really making large investment into the project, even though you don't see us digging up the ground right yet. So we will come to that. We are working hard on to secure everything that we need to go into the project, but this is really what we're doing at the moment. So thank you all for showing up. I'm very happy to see the turnout. I'm very happy to also see the questions that come up. So yeah, thank you all for coming. And do you want to close down?
And if you want to speak to any of us after the event now, then we'll be here for some time. So please approach us if you want to. Okay. Thank you very much.